The issues discussed on the Roll Call Room podcast do not reflect the opinions of any specific agency. Any characters discussed on this show may be fictional for comedic value unless you're a shitbag Steve. This podcast is rated explicit and listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the podcast that changed the game and rocked an entire profession. Talking about shit in law enforcement that keeps poor leaders up at night. When others run scared and hide behind fake policies, the Roll Call Room podcast tells it like it is. No bullshit. No matter how hard these Steves try, we keep killing it. And now, here are your hosts, Nick and Mark.
Welcome to another episode of the Roll Call Room podcast. I am one of your hosts, Nick, and with me is the wonderful... Oh, no, we didn't pause. I just was fucking around.
Zooming out there a little bit.
Yeah. Mark the Cop, how you doing, buddy? How's everything?
Man, Mark the Cop is wound up today. I mean, early in the morning.
Me too.
So tell me how your morning got started there.
My morning got started by realizing that I have completely failed as a parent to teach my 21-year-old responsibility. And when I say responsibility, I know those of you that are listening to this, you're thinking to yourself, responsibility like car. You're thinking about like responsibility job. I'm talking about responsibility as changing the litter box and shit like that. Like, it just amazes me. Like when I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, at 21 years old, I was married. So, my responsibilities.
Mr. Responsible, making people.
No, I didn't make people until 23.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. I waited. It was no fucking shotgun wedding, man.
So anyway, your day started off what we say a little shitty.
A little shitty. I got a new place, and my basement, which is fully finished, like really nice bathroom, bar, whole 9 yards down here. And I work from down here, my normal 9 to 5 job. I work down here, I have a home office, and then a separate area for the studio. And then a separate from that is an area for my cats. Those of you that have watched the show, you see my cats pop in and out. And, we have a little doggy door gate that prevents my dogs from going into where the cat litter area is. And my oldest, who's responsible for litter, consistently shuts the door and prevents the cats from going into the litter area, which baffles my fucking mind that your responsibility is to change the litter and you close off so the cats can't get to it. So
right.
Naturally, if they can't get to the litter, what are they going to do? They're going to fucking go all over the place, which drives me fucking bonkers, man. I pride myself on having a clean home.
Right.
And the worst part is it's not an area of the house where like it's the garage, Right. This is the area on the other side of where the litter boxes are is my home office. And so when this shit happens, when I'm working from home, I got to smell this shit, like.
We don't have smeller cam.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
No, I could laugh now. Like when it happened, which was 10 minutes ago, I was fucking furious. And those of you that can relate to having all girls as kids,
right?
You are the male figure in their life, and the last thing that you want to do is project anger,
toxic masculinity.
Yeah, and it's hard, dude. I think it's harder. Sometimes I think it's harder than getting bent over by your chief and getting railed inside. Like I I would take what happened to me at my old agency every fucking day rather than deal with this situation. Because she'll wake up around like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which
holy cow, does she
baffles my. She works kind of night. She works like 10 o'clock at night, but that's no. She stays up all night playing video games, which is a whole other problem. But she has a job. She's responsible. She pays for her car. She pays for her car insurance. She does all that. So. My wife and I are a success in one sense where we've taught her some responsibility. Let me back up. She did get into a car accident over the last weekend. I didn't even tell you that. Yeah.
Wow. Is she okay?
She calls my wife. It happened up the road. She's like, this guy is screaming at me. He's cursing at me. Father figure kicks in. I'm like, I'll be right there.
now, not only does the guy have a bent up car, but now he got his ass kicked.
Well, I get there and the sheriff's deputies are there, and I know, you and I've been on those scenes before, and I show up, and they got their body cameras on, and I just stand over there by my daughter, and I go, "Don't say anything." And she's like, "Why? What's up?" I said, "They got their body cameras on. Don't say anything." I was like,
nothing.
This happened in a parking lot. They don't even have jurisdiction here. It's not a big deal. This is for our insurance.
They were even there.
Yeah, me too.
We were the last agency. I'm sorry. We were the last agency in my area that even did private property crashes, and I fucking hated every one of them.
Yeah,
anyway.
I would show up to tell them we're not taking it. Like, that's how stupid it. Like it was. One of our chiefs, I can't remember which one, made a promise to the citizens that if you called, we would come, no matter what. And that caused a big problem because a lot of the stuff that we were handling was civil, and it took you away from proactive policing.
Right.
And I think a lot of places still do that. Like I was kind of surprised to see the sheriffs. I think the reason why the sheriff's department showed up was because there was a bystander that was watching this guy dress my daughter down, and she stayed behind because she was afraid that this guy was going to do something to my daughter.
Oh, well, good for her.
Yeah. And
so. All right. So now I got to ask: was it like the mutual back out?
No. So she's making a right turn, and this guy is behind her, and then he's impatient, waiting for her to turn. So instead of going around her, she's making a right turn. Instead of going around her on the left side, this moron goes around her on the right side into her turn. Right.
Well, the light flashing on that side of the car, they call them what? Turn signals?
Yeah.
Yeah, that generally indicates which way the motorist wants to go. But
it's always fun because I haven't been in, I think almost all of my traffic accidents have occurred while I was on the job. I have definitely retired some cruisers in my day. And
me too. So
yeah,
be a driving instructor and have crashes on the job. Boy, talk about humility.
I would be, dude. I would. You'd have to have a new fleet every year if I was a driving instructor. So I got there and I'm like listening to this guy is pleading his case to the deputies, and I could see in the deputy's face, and he's training a rookie.
Right.
And I could see in his face, he's just like, I don't fucking care, dude. Like, and then like the guy's telling him the story, and there's a language barrier a little bit. And the guy is like, she was asleep at the wheel. And the deputy's like, he does this like surprise face, like what? And he's like, did you just say she was asleep at the wheel? And he's like, yeah, she was sleeping. And he like looks over and he comes over to us and he goes, hey, this is going to be determined by insurance. And I stopped. I said, deputy, I don't want you to waste your time. I said, I'm former law enforcement. I get it. I understand. I'm sorry you even need to be here.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy's story, I didn't see it. I said, but I could see the damage from him. I could see the damage from her. Hers is on the quarter panel, which means that she was already in a turn. His is on the front corner. That means that he was going into the turn. Yeah. So I was like, left front corner. And he's like, I was like, his story just doesn't make any sense. He goes, I know. He says he's lucky it's not on the actual road because we would have written it up that he was at fault anyway. And I was like, oh, well, that's good. Can I get a quote from you? Can
I get the body cam?
but of course I had to make it a teachable moment with my daughter because I'm like, even though you're going into a turn, you got to watch on both sides when you're making a turn because you never know when somebody's going to do something like that.
Series of small glances, boys and girls.
That's it, man. Series of small glances. And so this past week with the oldest has been a treat all on its own. Like in this litter incident,
just makes
I used
you want
to deal
love
with
them a little more, right?
yeah. I mean, I used to deal with murders and rapes and shit like that. And now, I'm dealing with fucking litter boxes. So life is good, man. Life is good. Saw something in the news that perked my interest this morning before we recorded this.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite person settled out of federal civil court for $500,000. Can you guess who this person is? They sued their former agency, $500,000 in a civil federal lawsuit. Can you guess who it is?
Do we play the Jeopardy music now? Do 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 do.
I might overlay it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Sorry, Nick. I'm not enough.
I'm going to give you some clues.
Am I looking at them?
No, I'm going to give you verbal clues. Okay.
All right. Suing their former agency. $500,000, and they're my $500,000.
Favorite person within the last 12, maybe 2022 to now. This incident happened.
Mm-hmm.
It involved, I want to say 7 or 8 people. 7 or 8 people.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a really good one.
Go ahead.
Okay. No worries. Let that coffee get into those veins. Let it absorb.
All right, here we go.
I know I'm going to say this and then you're going to get it. So I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
Hot tub. Hot tub.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's coming to me. Involving a lieutenant.
Going?
Oh,
that was one of them. There were.
Yeah. Well, the problem is there's so many of these style-ish incidents out there. It's like, all right, you're leading me down the path, and the problem is they all. It's like with the we were talking this morning. Is like that story of my friend. And I want to talk about it on the show. It's like, yeah, common. It happens. Anyway, go ahead, throw it out there, buddy.
So this one was the one where the female officer was getting a train run on her. She was holding jacuzzi parties at her house. It involved.
Is it from Tennessee?
Yes.
There we go. Oh, yes. Wow.
Yeah, and the
really?
chief of police was involved. Yeah, the chief of police, they subpoenaed his text messages, and he was going back and forth with, I think.
Oh, you mean the chief of police with the burner phone?
Yeah.
Those text messages from the burner phone when he was talking to the lieutenant about, yo, man, I got that, whatever. Go ahead. Yeah.
Nice. Badonkadonk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she settled out for $500,000. She sued the department and the city that she worked in, and they settled out, which probably was a smart move. I think probably if that would have went to trial, she probably would have gotten, $2 million. And it goes to show, I think when that broke, she made some very, very horrible decisions, and I don't know what her lawsuit claim was.
Really?
Yeah.
Those are bad decisions. Doesn't every new female officer? Anyway, sorry.
I would like to say that it has gotten better, but it hasn't, because what happens is they feel compelled to kind of fit in, and a lot of these guys in these agencies, they're fucking piranhas, man. I've been around it.
See, piranhas just take a small bite and leave. No, these guys are worse. These guys are
they'll fucking wreck your life.
Manipulators that they draw you in. Hey, because the Kelly experienced a little bit of that. She was all about the brotherhood. She didn't realize these guys were trying to fuck her. Luckily finally she realized, this guy isn't interested in my welfare. He's interested in my body. So, she realized real quick, predator, friend, it's trying to find the difference there. So, but I do want to say that when that was going on, I was probably enjoying the memes a little too much. And my daughter Jen said, "Dad, you need to slow down on that a little bit." She said,
Yeah.
Remember this. She's a person. She made bad decisions, and it may not be your I don't know, your path, for lack of a better saying. But remember, she is a person, and you were in a bad spot once too, and you also were that person that was being mocked and ridiculed. She said, so just remember that moving forward.
That's true in a sense. I mean, I think your daughter's very, very smart for that. I think with her situation was the decisions that she made, they were conscious, very, very conscious, very calculated decisions. I think an instance where you're having that kind of an affair with one individual is very common in agencies and people that aren't in law enforcement. You don't get it, which right. is that it is very common for dispatchers to be sleeping with police officers. It's very common for nurses to be sleeping with police officers and then sleeping with each other. And all of them married. Like these are people that are married that are having extramarital affairs. It's very, very common. I think there's definitely books on it as far as what the psychological reason is and all that other stuff. I'm not justifying it, but that's pretty much what happens. But this young lady, she was holding parties. She was holding parties at her house. She was having jacuzzi parties where she was inviting people and she was triple tag teaming them and doing stuff like that. And that was her journey. That was her journey. And ultimately, she wound up getting paid for it. So good for her.
So my question is, I shared a meme with you the other day. It was last week or so, where that came up again. I'm like, is there any liability or is there any, what do you do at that point? I mean, if you're trying to straighten things out with your life, I mean, I guess, are you just ride the storm? Because I know that's what I did when I was, I let in.
Well, she stayed low.
Yeah,
she laid low.
Yeah.
She did a good job doing that.
From one of the adult male magazines saying, hey,
she did.
Let's do a photo shoot.
She did. And she'd probably make bank if she did like that or OnlyFans. But I think
I'd sign it for a month.
Yeah. I mean, for research purposes, I'm not. For research purposes, I want to know, because, we're all about leadership here. I want to know if that chief was full of shit or not. So I'd like to know.
We should get the
text messages?
FOIA the transcripts and FOIA.
I think it's already released. Well, I'll put that down as a note for the next episode for us to read those, because those would be nice if you read one part and I read the other part.
You were her and I was back. Him.
Yeah. It was so
where
good.
We're taking the roll call room.
Limping.
Taking the roll call room in a whole new direction. You wanted less bitching and more comedy. By golly, we listen to you, fans.
We're giving
Thank
it.
you so much.
We're giving it. And 3 episodes, not mentioning once my former agency. I'm very proud of myself.
Applause. That's growth. That's growth. We love you, Nick, and we love the fact that you're growing through this.
Small steps. But going back to her,
God, how would I not get that? Now I feel stupid because I was thinking the other one. I didn't think hers was there that quick.
I
know that a couple of years, but
yeah, I knew she had filed a federal lawsuit, and I think we did an episode just as she did that, and we were like, we knew she was going to get paid either through settlement or through. Because here's the thing is a lot of, not a lot. I think there was a sergeant, there was a lieutenant, and then the chief was involved. And when you have command staff doing that to a younger officer, male or female, you have some sort of influence over them. And whether or not she felt compelled that if she didn't do this, her career was going to be in jeopardy. Right. And more than likely so, because smaller departments like that, it's very cliquey, Right. I think I think she got caught up in trying to fit in. And I don't know what her performance was. Maybe her performance wasn't as great as it should be. And this was a way to kind of kick herself up a little bit. Right. But I don't envy the position folks are in with that. I've seen it in my agency, which is kind of a small to medium size. A lot of the female recruits right as soon as they get in the academy, they're being groomed. They're being,
you mean like an individual academy, not in the community college world that I teach.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right. In the actual police academy. I know in my agency, we always release the pictures of who's going into the academy. And I worked with
here we go.
Yeah.
It's like running the meat gauntlet. Well, look at that one. Woo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually, a couple of captains, people that are captains now and lieutenants and sergeants in my old agency, I'd be in the room with them and they're like, oh, look at that one. I would love to wear that as a hat on my head, and just stupid shit like that, man. And I was like,
it gets back to, I had to do integrity training. Did I tell you that? I mean, I had to do a course on integrity. For the community college, it's required. You got to be bloodborne pathogens and integrity. And I thought, all right, this ought to be good, because I got the nastygram. Hey, you haven't gotten your training yet. And I'm like, yeah, I need to get that done. So I did it. And it made me reflect a little bit, because they were talking about agency culture and you as a leader. So you said you had a captain saying this, right? And command staff out there, you need to be aware of your reflection from the bottom up. You're not one of the guys anymore. And even though, it's like I said, I had to have a talk with my crew, not my police crew, but my instructor crew one time, because I am, if you listen to my other comedy show that I was on for a while, I'm quite the raunchy sense of humor. And as a patrol officer, I was quite the raunchy sense of humor, but I had to realize that when I got promoted, I'd stop that shit. I had to tone it down, because now I'm rank, and now I need to give a better projection of not only the department, not only myself, but of the department. So that had to be toned down. So, of course, you get the gobs. Oh, that motherfucker back in the day. Yeah. And they were right. I mean, they weren't wrong. I mean, you can't run from that. So you always need to kind of think about, what is your integrity? Remember, and it's doing the right thing when no one's looking. So if you're going through recruit photos and you're with people under you and you're making those comments, don't say it aloud, just like, or, something, wow, she's easy on the eyes or something, or just don't say anything like that at all. Just nothing. These people are recruits, blah, 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 blah. And when you're in command, you need to tighten your circle up, because you're being watched all the time, constantly. And as well as I do, especially if someone wasn't really happy that you made sergeant, and just random human things. Nick, I mean, like when you got promoted, you did something dumb, like, I don't know, you cut a curb and you bumped it with the right rear tire, and suddenly, oh, we found this shooter on the grassy knoll. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yep.
Well, he's a sergeant, he should have known better. That's the kind of ridicule I'm talking about. And that's where, words are important, and you need to start appreciating and giving the dignity and respect to your position as command, and not saying that shit. All right. I'm off the soapbox.
No. And I, when I was a field training officer before I got promoted, and if I ever had a female recruit, I would always give them the same speech, which is just like, photos last forever when you put them on social media. The way that you conduct yourself within the first year as an officer here will stick with you forever, because I can tell you that officers that have 10 years on that are females, you're in court, there's chitter chatter, that person comes walks past you, all the guys are like, you remember when she was laid out on the pool table at the police hall and they ran a train on her, and you're like, that was 10 years ago. Like, get the fuck over it. But it goes to the profession, which is we eat our own,
Yeah.
The moment there's a
Oh,
little bit of
yes.
weakness, you just nibble and nibble and nibble and nibble until it's completely gone.
As Dr. David says, nobody fucks one another harder than other cops.
Yep, and it's really, really prevalent now. Like it's big, especially when you've had such a mass exodus.
Yep.
So a lot of the promotions that are happening are not based on longevity on the job. It's basically how well you test. I see pictures of jurisdictions that I've worked with where they're having promotional ceremonies, and I'm just blown away by the people that are getting stripes put on their shoulders.
You're like, that guy? I remember that guy. I thought that guy had brain damage, and they're making him a boss. Yep. Whoa.
Yeah. Seeing somebody that had an accidental discharge at a school, was a school resource officer and shot into a classroom because he was fucking dry fire practicing. Oh yeah, and he got to keep his job. So shit like that, bro. Like that's why when my thing
stuff, keep the gun in the fucking holster while you're at the school building. Dumbass, go in the armory or downrange and do shit like that.
Yeah, we were all shocked.
Was a DA agent or FBI agent. I'm the only one in this classroom that's certified to do this. Boom! Shoots himself in the foot.
One of the best videos, man. One of the best videos. And this cat got arrested too, man. He got arrested and he pled guilty, and they let him keep his fucking job. And that's why when my thing went down, I was like,
"Now, what did he get arrested
hold up,
for?
What did he get arrested? I think in the city that I lived in, discharging a firearm was a misdemeanor. Like if you fired your weapon recklessly, it was a misdemeanor. And he pled guilty.
The incident in the school got him arrested?
Yeah.
Okay, so the dumb fucker's in his office or whatever. He doesn't clear his, there's semi-automatic. There's a thing called a magazine. Take it out. So he doesn't know nomenclature for his weapon. So he's had a pass, dry fires, shoots a round off. So in this incident, because it was discharging within the city limits, that's what the arrest was for?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. I can live with that. I if he got arrested and pled guilty and was charged and did his service, I mean,
I don't think he should be a police officer. I can tell you that.
Well, Nick,
listen, if you're that neglectful,
I'm not. Yes, I agree with you, but I want to debate you. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's some people in this world that don't have the mental capacity or brain power to be allowed to touch a firearm. And knowing that officer was a total fucking mouth breather, a colossal fucking donut. He was an SRO for a reason. If there had been a shooting that broke out in that school, I would run from him instead of with him.
Right.
That's the other thing. So some backstory there. And I think I could tell you this, what I determined as a sergeant. I wasn't his sergeant, but what I had determined during all of that, and I brought up very good points to his sergeant, was what he did tells me that he never has one chambered in the pipe. And he was like, well, what does that mean? How do you get to that point? I said, because he took the magazine out and he automatically started fucking around with dry firing, and muscle memory, he never chambers around. So when he fired that shot, he thought, hey, I never chamber around, so I'm good to go. His muscle memory was, I chamber when I'm ready to get into a shooting. And you and I both know that is a fucking recipe for disaster. So there's several things that lead up to him not being, and now he's a sergeant. Now he's got stripes on his shoulder. Now he's going to be molding younger officers. And it's decisions like that have given that agency a very, very tainted point of view. I mean, there was other incidents with him. He lied on a use of force on one of my officers. I just terrible things. And
but where's management at? Why is that guy still there? Why is this person allowed to go on and only in
off the air? I'll tell you why.
Okay,
off the air, I'll tell you why. You could pretty much figure it out.
Yeah, I'm getting the vibe. but I'm
Yeah.
going with where they're talking about officers getting off-duty arrests.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's a different story. So
right.
I see
So,
where you're going. That's a different story for me. Like if you're off duty and you have a firearm discharge through negligence, there's a process for that. But when you're doing it on the job, when your heightened alert should be up here.
Yeah.
And there are instances, I've investigated officers in my agency that have had accidental discharges outside of work. I've had it happen.
Yeah.
You know,
good friend of mine had the same thing.
It happens. I personally have never, because I am one of those extremely paranoid people. When I would clean my gun at the house,
right,
I would take the magazine out. I would point it down at the ground. I would clear the chamber. I clear the chamber again, clear the chamber again, physically with my finger, my pinky, in, out, look at it again, rack it 3-4 times. And I know for sure when it's 100% clear.
So who
I let
taught
the chamber
you that?
out?
Did you learn that who taught you that?
I learned
behavior?
that in the academy.
Yeah, I learned that in the academy. They beat it into your head, and
they beat it into me. And the other thing is, I had 2 small kids at the time. Like I had 2 small babies. Like I personally couldn't live with myself if one of my kids got a hold of my gun and hurt themselves.
Exactly.
And they scared the shit out of me in the academy. Like they scared me when I went to the range and said, you know, you're gonna get brought up on manslaughter charge and all these other things. And you know what? I kind of agree with doing it that way, because this kid that fired inside of a school, did he have all of that going through his head? I don't think so.
He wasn't given the weapon the respect it was due. And the reason why is that you should never have that motherfucker out of its holster while you're in the school building.
Well, and I can only speak to Glock. I can't speak to SIG. I can't speak to Smith & Wesson. I can't speak to those. So my experience is very limited, because that's all I've dealt with from New York to Virginia has been Glock.
Right.
So my opinion as far as off-duty discharges is strictly on Glock, because with Glock, you have to pull the trigger to release the trigger, and then the 2 buttons on the side, you have to release the slide and slide the slide off to clean it.
Right.
So for me, I think the Glock is pretty much the moron's weapon. It's very simple. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like
you're exactly right. That's why I'm laughing. That's why it's such a great weapon, because it's so simplistic. It is.
It's so moron. It's meant for moron.
Stupid proof. You got one little, what was it? That little Glock tool that looks like a center punch, and that's all you need to get the thing completely apart for the armor school. And they're extremely simple weapons.
But when you're cleaning it, home cleaning, it breaks down to 4 pieces. It's the handle, it's the slide, it's the spring, and it's the barrel.
Jesus,
it's 4 pieces.
To sound like a Police One podcast.
I know. And then I like to use extra fuck me lube. I like to use Lube 3000 when I'm putting my slide back on. Now remember, you line up that barrel just right. Make sure it sits in there nice and smooth. You'll hear it click. You put that spring in. Make sure you put that spring in straight. And you click it, and you'll hear it click. Trust me, you'll hear it click just like this. Click.
And for your slide that slide, take that lube with you.
Yeah.
It's never going to leave the desk, but you can take it in to make you feel better.
I like to use ouch, ouch, chief, you're on my hair. And for the real friction, I like to use, Chief, I know I'm suspended, but please, one more time inside me. And we're working on a new lube called Are My Knuckles White Enough?
Yeah. And that's
and
another
coming
one
out in fall. Coming out in fall, we're working on Clinch Down. This is only going to hurt a little bit. Jesus, man.
So you get your official bite stick.
Yeah. Our new blister packs come with a plastic bite stick, not the wood cheap ones like the other guys.
Yeah, that's right. This is made of neoprene.
For an extra $5.99, we'll engrave your name on it. Act now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we should do mock commercials like that. Put that up as 30
We
seconds.
have one that we've been talking about that we have to to do, man.
Yes, our Godfather.
You're not safe, IACP. You're not safe.
That's right. Oh, we're just letting you guys have a breather. We got some stuff up our sleeve. So speaking up our sleeve, I want to circle back to our conversation from yesterday.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about life after being a Leo. And I touched on this morning. And Derek, thanks for listening. So we're going to talk about you. One of my former partners and him and I just were like, we were peanut butter and jelly, man, when we were on the job together. We had so much fun. And when I first started at my former agency, I got put on midnights with this guy. He's former Marine, just a funny dude. And him and I just really, really hit it off. And I really enjoyed working with him for 5 years while I was there. But sadly, the job got the best of him. And suddenly he had a mental break because his mother died. And I would like to consider him the first victim that I'm conscious of my former chief. And he was a sergeant then. And instead of sending this guy on FMLA, well, I don't think it was then because this is back in pre-2010. I don't think there was FMLA then, was there? Anyway, if you know, it's Mark with a C at rollcallroom.com. Send me an email, let me know. Or Nick at rollcallroom.com. And if you really love your balls, you should go to manscaped.com.
Manscaped.com.
Manscaped. Promo code roll call room, save 20%.
1984.
1984. Okay. So Jesus Christ. So I wasn't even aware of it. So that's shame on me. But anyway, they should have put him off for a while. Got his shit together. Go ahead.
Signed by BJ Clinton. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Diamond boys. But, so they, instead of fixing him, they fucked him. They ran him right through the disciplinary scale and fired him. So he's since left and he's got a great career as a locomotive operator. And listens to our show at night when he's pulling massive tons of freight up and down the line, and he's very happy. But him and I were talking. We were talking about life after being a Leo, and so I'm a snowbird, and down in Florida, I still see these retired cops, and we go to this one restaurant, which is just a wonderful little restaurant. It's called Biggins. It's up in Brooksville. They're not paying me to say that. But if you go into Biggins, they have multiple retired cop vanity plates on the wall from all states around. Because everybody's like, I'm going to retire and get retired cop on my plate. It's like, yeah, when I left in 2021, and this is coming up my third year being retired, I'm done. I'm done being a cop. And we were talking about this, and some guys are still on the job. We went to church and we pulled up in the parking lot, and I see this gentleman sitting there, and I could tell he had a flat top haircut, and he's out there and he's giving the head look. Every car comes in, he watches it go by. And I told my wife, I said, that guy's a retired Leo. She's like, how do you know? I said, guarantee it, dude. I said, when we go into church, he'll sit in the back on the left or right side, probably the right side in the corner by himself. Because he's going to sit out there and scope the whole place out. Of course, we sit right in the middle. I'm like in the center, like fifth row. I'm the classic sheep now. So we get in there. Sure enough, we go up for communion. Look back, there he is, back in the right hand corner, bro. And it's just like, when are you going to get off the job? When are you going to quit? And I saw a meme the other day that says, although I'm retired, I'm still vigilant and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, and, a couple people commented on it. Hey, man, yeah. And in a way, I get that. But in another way, for your mental health, when is enough?
So do you think...
yeah, go ahead.
Do you think you are?
Yes.
Do you think? Let me rephrase this. Do you think you are, but it bleeds through from time to time?
Yes.
Or do you think you'll always
that-
be hyper vigilant at certain moments?
Not hypervigilant. I spent a lot of money to get out of hypervigilance, and then what I mean was that
Smart. Yeah.
I had to get the stellate ganglion block to stop being hypervigilant. I had to do intensive EMDR because you're if you are hypervigilant, you're still getting that blast of cortisol. You're still getting that blast from your amygdala. This is physics. This is physically what's going on in your body. And that's what leads us to dying 10 years sooner than your average man. That's why our pension funds are so fucking solvent. We die 10 years after being retired. Yeah, 5 to 10 years. Or some people never even make it that long. So if you're hypervigilant, keep going.
Yeah, it'll eat you up.
Yes.
I think the reason why I asked that is I think, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think law enforcement or my agency actually gave me a gift for the rest of my life, and I think the same for you.
Yeah.
I'm not hyper vigilant as much as I was when I was a cop, but I definitely am not the sheep, and I'm using that term because you brought it up, and I like that. I'm not the sheep in the sense where my spider senses come up when and it's kind of crazy, Mark, because the other day I was at Walmart and I'm in the parking lot and I'm looking around. I'm always scanning, and that's one of the great things that the job taught me.
Right. And situational awareness.
There's a difference. Situational. Yeah.
Being situationally aware and being hypervigilant.
Yeah. And I'm looking in the parking lot and I'm watching a hand-to-hand go down. And I pointed it out to my youngest daughter because my youngest daughter loves, like, now that she's older, when I say youngest, she's 18. And she's like, yeah, how'd you know? And I was like, I was on the job for so long. If you're parking in the back corner of Walmart, you're either there for a Facebook Market meetup, you're there to get a blowjob, or you're there to sell.
Right.
I mean, I'm not lying. Or you're there to sell narcotics.
Yes.
It's stuff like that. And my ADD is kicking in. So I have to say this before I forget. This conversation came up yesterday, and I make a very conscious effort of not bleeding my current job into law enforcement. How hard I work on that. I purposely don't talk about where I work. My background behind me, the reason why I have two different studios is that there's one where my home office is that has all of my stuff from my current employer that I'm very proud of. I have a shelf of all of my cool stuff that I've gotten over the 2+ years I've been working for this company. And I purposely don't talk about them because, one, I want to keep it pure. I want to keep it separate. But it's bleeding into my old life is bleeding into my new life because a lot of former law enforcement is now coming over to this company. And I have to work with a lot of people that I'm not very pleased with working with. But it's a growth opportunity for me because I got to get over it because I have to work with these folks. But I had called you, I had messaged you when I was on my way back from a business trip. I'd just gotten back yesterday from a business trip. And I said I was at this training and these guys were doing this training. Right. And they were all former law enforcement. And I said to you, I was like, it was like an awakening when I was in that in that training room because it took me right back to the academy because these guys, and I don't even think that they know that they're doing it. I just don't think, and I'm trying to be positive for them, which is I don't think that they really know that they're still holding on to that life. They come in their 5'11" pants. Yep. They come in their tactical shoes. They come in with their fucking polo shirts that are a size medium, and God bless them, And then they're doing the whole training. They're doing the whole training with a coffee in their hand as they're walking around, and they're doing the robot movement with their hands. And those of you that have video, you're going to see what I'm doing, which is these tactical motions with their fucking hands, like with their fingers and their
SWAT hands.
And,
yeah.
SWAT hands, magic hands. SWAT hands.
These are SWAT
magic
hands.
SWAT hands. Yeah, and
you're on the subject, and
But the thing is
learned behavior.
Here's the cool part is what they do is really cool. What they do is necessary in the world that we live in, and I don't think any other company is doing what we're doing, and that makes me proud to be part of that. But what it doesn't do is there's the corporate world and there's the law enforcement world, and there is a big gap between the two of them. And the only way to integrate that is you got to come off of that. And I think I know two of them have been out of law enforcement for less than a year or almost a year. So I have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, give them some grace.
One of them I know because they're from my neighboring jurisdiction, and I'm actually going to go to lunch with them, I think next week or the week after. And I'm going to tell them, I'm going to be like, hey, bro, you're still doing it, right? And I guarantee, because this guy's really cool, like he's a good dude. He's probably going to be like, am I? And I'm going to be like,
shit,
dude,
really?
you listen, you need to take your 511 pants and have a bonfire and get rid of them, because that is the first step to coming out of law enforcement hood.
Oh, man, I am so glad you just said that. Bro,
how many T-shirts do you still have? How many
No,
you're doing. This is why we're twins, man. This is why we're twins.
I did the purge. It was the most difficult thing in the world, was getting rid of the 511s. I went down to St. Vincent de Paul, and just
things are expensive.
I pulled everything on because I've gained a bunch of weight. I'm sorry, my processed addiction is still food. I'm still working on it. I mean, the weight's coming off, but goddamn, 50 pounds doesn't come off quick. So all these clothes I had, right, I've grown out of them. And my wife is like, dude, really? 4 racks of fucking... We have one of our bedrooms here in this house that we bought. The former owner converted the bedroom to a gigantic walk-in closet. And my wife's like, I have no place to put my fucking clothes. And I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I did the purge. So I have new cop shirts, like my new one here I got from, 937 GTA. Very proud of that. But all the old stuff, I took all the shirts and I cut the labels off. And I cut them in 8x8 squares. And I'm going to have a woman quilt them for me.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to take the shirts and I'm going to make a quilt out of them. All right. With just all the logos. Right. So, I mean, some of them's wore out. Those just get thrown away. So I did the purge, got rid of all the 511 pants, got rid of all the old shirts, got rid of all the logo. I still got turtlenecks with my old department's logo stenciled or stitched on the neck. I'm like, cut that shit off, throw it away. But it's taken now. Like I said, I've been retired. This is my 3rd year. Coming up in April 2nd, I will have been retired for 3 years, and I've stored this shit. So once I did the purge, it was just extremely liberating. I feel like a reformed hoarder. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did the big purge. I think my last move, and it was difficult, man. I remember being in the closet. And, that sounded terrible. I remember that one I'm still in. I remember being in the closet and I had 2 bins. I had a keep bin and I had a trash bin.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Organizer.
Well, my wife is the organizer.
I'm teasing
so,
you. You watch a little HGTV, do you? We got
yeah,
the donate pile. We got the... Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I threw out, I think 3 bags, 3 large contractor black bags of clothes, mostly because I had lost a tremendous amount of weight when I got off all of my medicine. And I was working out a little bit more than a lot more than what I am now.
Yeah.
And there were some tough decisions, man, because there was a lot of emotion wrapped up in some of those shirts. Getting some of those shirts. I remember
getting them
at my old agency, like getting the Special Olympics shirt with the department's shield on it, and doing all that stuff meant a tremendous amount to me. But I think it's kind of like holding on to somebody that doesn't want to be with you anymore.
Yes.
Like in a relationship, you
Yes.
have a relationship box,
Yes.
of old movie tickets and fucking old greeting cards and used condoms and, and no,
It's like the opening scene
nobody
of
else
the Blues
does that.
Brothers.
Okay.
Opening scene of the Blues Brothers.
Old butt plugs and dildos that don't work anymore, and all these different things. You gotta let them
do that.
Yeah, I know. No,
Did you see the article where they thought it was a dead body and someone discarded their real doll sex doll?
Wow.
Sorry,
pause what we were talking
keep
about.
Going. Keep rolling, man. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Pause what we were talking about. There's a show that my youngest turned me on to called the Strange Addictions, and there's a guy that has a strange addiction.
What network is that?
I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. There's a guy that makes love to his car. There's a guy that is obsessed with real dolls, and then he gets his wife involved. And so she wants a real doll, but a guy real doll. And then he orders her one from China, and he comes in, and this doll looks more like a female than it does a male. So she can't sleep with it because she needs to fucking guy it up.
This is where our society's going.
Dude, I watch these things, and then I turn around and I go, this is the reason why we're all fucked up. Like, this is the reason why nobody gives a shit that we don't have a government budget right now. Nobody gives a shit about immigration. Nobody gives a shit about inflation. Nobody gives a shit about anything, because there's so much background noise to disguise or to throw you off. Like, I think last episode was our political episode.
Yes, this is going to be our freak episode.
This is our freak episode.
Let it go is going to be the theme of this one.
Let your freak flag fly, man. Going back to the other thing.
We need to get out of this rabbit hole. Yeah, but going back to letting go of those things. There's a lot of pride there. And I got to tell you, Nick, it's a lot like moral injury. And let me connect it real quick, because I remember getting this shirt, or getting, when I got this outfit together, and how proud I was, that I'm up there. I have my first instructor shirt from, I started teaching at the state level in 20 years ago, 2004. And I still have that fucking shirt hanging in there. I'm like, and it's faded and it's ratty. And, the edges of the arms are all wore through. And I'm like, why do I have this? So I cut the logo off of it and I threw it away. But that was a lot of memories there, and you were talking about that. It's like that. It's like, your wife passed or your husband passed, and, when do I throw away the funeral flowers, or when do I get rid of the cards?
Immediately.
So it's, okay. Yeah. But like with me, I still have, breast flower petals from my mother's funeral, and my wife used to make jewelry with that stuff. But anyway, when do you get rid of that stuff? I mean, it's like, okay, that time of your life is over.
Mm-hmm.
You served the department from this time to this time, and now it's time to move on. It's keep those memories, keep the small knickknacks. Like, I still got cop shit all around my house, because I was a dude. Yes, exactly. And I can turn the camera here and show you the studio. My studio, I have, all the challenge coins and my Crown Vic poster. And of course, you can see all the books here behind me. The greatest book ever written, law enforcement, right there. The Maxwell book is right next to it. But, there's the time for that. But it's, when do we let go? When do we stop being the job? And we're to swing back to that, to keep yourself healthy and happy. And I love the way you said your former agency gave you the gift of life, and by pushing you out the door, and I'm going to get spiritual, which is, the old saying that God shuts one door and opens another one. You just don't know it yet, but like right now, I cannot be any more happier. Life is great. My jobs that I'm doing now are awesome. I get to be on the roll call room, and doing this. But the message here is that it's time to, when you're done with the job, for your own health and safety, shut that amygdala down, shut down the cortisol blast and the adrenaline blast, because it's not going to find you happiness in the future. You know, I was talking with a great friend last night, and he was telling me that about the oldest officer, the oldest sergeant in his department is like in his 70s, still there. I'm like, whoa, bro, no way. And I'll tell you,
die in 6 months after he leaves. He's going to die.
Oh yeah. What was in the retirement system and got back out to stay. Started.
You know what that tells me, though? That tells me his whole life is, it tells me that the same thing that happened with you and I, like this plaque right here, the thin blue line flag plaque. I keep that up, but it brings a good amount of pain when I look at it, when I'm looking in this camera and I see it. And I'll tell you the backstory of it. When I left the agency the first time, and I should have stayed gone. Those of you that have listened to this show, you know I left the department for 2 weeks.
Right.
And I came right back. As I love the abuse. And
I couldn't get enough.
When I left, this plaque right here was given to me by my community policing unit that I was in charge of. It was like 12 of them. They all chipped in. They got me this thing. This was my going away present. And it was a great moment because I wasn't really expecting anything from them. I thought I treated them very, very well. And this will come into play, the word thought. I got this thing and I got my shadow box, which right now it was hung up in the old studio. You can see it on some of the episodes. It was hung up and it was off to the side.
Right.
And it has all of my shields when I was in the honor guard and all these shields coming up, my police shield, my sergeant shield, all these different shields. And right now that shadow box is sitting in my garage because we just moved about a month and a half ago. And it's sitting in my garage, wrapped up in a moving blanket and taped. And I haven't had the ambition to open it and hang it up. And I honestly don't know whether or not I am going to, because I'm just kind of at a point where I don't really think that needs to grace my. I don't think it needs to grace my wall, and I don't think it's worthy of hanging up anymore. Quite honestly, and this
because of the
is
pain.
A constant reminder to me that your work friends or the work colleagues or people that work for you are short-lived.
Yes.
Because the 12 of them that chipped in and got me this thing, not one of them fucking talks to me now. Not one of them have reached out to me since I've left. Not one of them have checked to see if I was okay. Not one of them.
So let me pause you there real quick. Let me pause you there real quick. I hadn't spoke to Derek for years. I mean, occasionally would run into him. We have a large car show in my city, centered around the festival every September. But hey, buddy, how you doing? You know, just kind of nothing. But you know, and he and I have gotten. We talk 2 or 3 times a week now. But so don't think never, and don't have that bitterness in your heart, because things change. You know, it's like that's how you know we have great friends. It's like with you and I, we may not talk for a few days, but you know, you have that instant connection.
Which is rare.
Right, it is. But you know, that's where the energy between you and I, we clicked right away. Went from and doing
what
the show together.
People don't know is you and I have never met. Ever.
Yeah, face to face, we haven't. That's right.
I don't think we've ever told the listeners that. We have never physically in person ever met, which is fucking bonkers, bro. Like bonkers.
Yeah, I'm making plans to come to Police Week, which is May 15th for those of you that are listening. Police Week is that week in Washington, D.C. Show up down there. If you haven't made your hotel reservations, now's the time to do it. They're very expensive. But get there on the 13th for the candlelight vigil. Go to policeweek.org and get everything. I'm planning on coming down this year. I'm going to meet with Nick, and then we're going to have some fun down there.
We're going to have some fun. Well, I'll tell you this, and then we're going to wrap it up because we're hitting our 1 hour mark.
We are. Jesus.
I think the part
Can we just edit out the first bullshit and keep going?
I think what makes me bitter about this thing is, and we joke about it a lot on this podcast, is I can see you checking me out on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it. I subscribe to premium. I know who looks at my shit. I know who doesn't.
Me too.
And it irks me, not in the sense that you think it does, not you, I mean them.
Right.
It irks me in the sense where I don't give a shit what you're looking at. I'm proud of what I do now. I'm proud of where I am in my professional life now.
Right.
So you want to check out where I work and what I do, what my title is. By the way, check it out after August, because it's going to drastically change.
Right.
And it's going to make you sick to your stomach that what I'm doing is drastically better than what I was doing. But that's neither here nor there. What bothers me is if you have the strength to covertly, or you think you're covertly checking me out on LinkedIn, you have the ability to text me. I've had the same fucking phone number for 20 years. Same cell phone number.
Right.
I know you have my number. Specifically, the person who checked me out last week, I know you have the number because you've called me at homicide scenes. So if you're inquiring what I'm doing or why you're looking me up, or you're about to beg me for a job, and that's what I equate it to, Mark, quite honestly.
Yeah,
that's what I equate
it to. I'm sick of this. I mean, Nick's here and I want to be there. So can I call him? Yeah.
I've had two people, not who have gotten me this plaque, two separate people have reached out to me since January, have reached out to me from that department and said, listen, Nick, I got to be brutally honest. First, I want to apologize. I got to be brutally honest. I thought you were fucking crazy when you left. I thought you went off the deep end. I thought with know, writing these books and the podcast, I think you were losing your fucking mind. But I see it now. I see that this place doesn't give a shit about us. I see blind, that they're promoting. Right.
But now I see it's just like Amazing
Grace.
And here's
the thing, Mark, I don't turn around and spit in their face and say, "Go, well, fuck you." Fuck you. You weren't with me from the beginning. I say to them, listen, I'm happy to have you aboard. I'm happy to have you on this side. And I'm telling you, the grass is greener on the other side. If you want to stay in law enforcement, I'm going to support you. I think it's a bad decision, but I'll support you. Your worth right now in the corporate world, your worth is 3 to 4 times the salary that you're making right now.
Yes.
And what they're thinking is pension. Well, I got a pension. Guess what?
The pension sucks.
Well, I'm about to blow their mind, which is the company I'm with, my stocks are worth more.
Yes.
Shit, they're worth 17 times more than if I had stayed with the police department for 30 years and got a pension.
Right.
In 3 years, Mark, I'm going to be able to stop working completely and go buy a close to $1 million house in Florida and not ever have to work again in 3 years. In 3 years. And I've been with this company at that point will be five, almost 6 years, right?
God bless
6
you.
years versus 30 fucking years of constant fucking problems.
Well, and my wife and I are on the same 5-year program. We have goals and objectives. So let me wrap this up. You were talking about staying for that pension. That pension ain't shit. When my wife and I separated, I went down and I met with our financial advisor. And he said, bring a couple of your paychecks with you. So it was on the whole life insurance thing. It's the reason why I met him. But he also had our 401k and my Roth, because I didn't do deferred comp. I felt the Roth's the better way to go. Tax going in versus tax coming out. So he looks at my paycheck. He says, what's this code? I said, this is what I give to the pension fund. He went, is that a month? No, that's per pay. Holy shit. Quick calculation. He's like, are you serious? You pay that much a month? And I said, yeah, it's fucking bullshit, isn't it? And he's like, oh my God, Mark. He said, and he gets on his computer and he does a projection. He said, if you'd been paying me that much money for 20 years, and he flips his computer around, he said, we wouldn't be having this talk right now. You'd be a fucking millionaire.
Yep.
And I went,
but you don't think about that, dude. You don't think about that when you're on the job, man. You don't, like, when I left the agency and I opened up my coffee shop, I cashed out everything. And I had been with the with the department, I think maybe 15 years at that point. And when I got my check after taxes, it was depressing. It was depressing because they don't invest your money like you think that they do.
No.
And,
well, I shouldn't say no. I don't know about Virginia, but in Ohio, you get every dime you put in back. That's it. No growth, nothing.
See, that's
so it's penny for penny. So if you put $1 in after 20 years or 15 years, whatever, you get the $1 back. You don't get any other growth. The pension fund keeps it all. And that's what I said. I called to get the cash out because I was considering that because I saw the train wreck coming. I knew my boss was fucking me.
Yeah.
And I need to start preparing for me. And so I called him and they said, well, this is your amount. I went, what?
Yeah. It's depressing.
What? That's it?
It's depressing.
Well, yeah. So remember, your city matches after a certain time. When you vest, blah, 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 blah. Absolute worst investment in the world. And that's what my financial advisor said. He said the police pension is, it goes for the rest of your life. But what did we say earlier in the show? Yeah, we die 10 years sooner.
Right. And the thing is when you do the calculations of what you're going to be getting on a monthly basis. Oh, and by the way, your medical insurance is not wrapped into that in some cases.
Right. So you have to work again.
So you got to work again, or you need to do Cobra, or you need to turn around and get your own Kaiser or United Healthcare or Blue Cross, which is a minimum at your age when you retire, a minimum of $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
Mine was $1,720. When I left the department, I went, I can't afford this.
I think the IACP should be more focused on how to fix those problems and get better financial stability for new officers or to officers that are already in place. Then it's a residual effect that will affect recruiting down the road. Because now, you're not enticing anybody to come to law enforcement. And then, 23, 24 years old, you don't give a shit about your pension. I didn't care about I didn't give a shit. I was like,
I want to go run the gun, bro.
Yeah, they're like, they're taking $350 out of my paycheck. I'll see that in 20 years, 25 years. Right. You're like, who gives a fuck? But when you start thinking about like what your financial advisor did, if you take that $250 a paycheck or $350 a paycheck and you put that into Fidelity and you put it into investments and you did other things and you invested in like, Tesla, Amazon, Google, all these other things, your return on investment is drastically better than allowing it to sit in a pension fund that does no dividends whatsoever, invest in nothing, and
they invest. They keep it.
Oh yeah, they keep it. Well, what they're doing is they're putting it into a general fund, and that interest goes to the bank, or it goes to whoever the municipality is that holds that account.
Right.
And we'll have to do it. We'll have to do an episode on finances because I did not become an expert at that stuff until I left law enforcement. Because now I watch everything. Like the company I'm with, I watch the stock market 5 times a day because I am invested. I am invested in it, and I know every dollar that it goes up is money in my pocket. Yeah. I'm always looking at not only the company that I work with, I'm looking at other companies to invest in once my stocks vest. I don't want to work till I'm 65. I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to. I want to enjoy my life.
I highly recommend retirement. It's good for everybody, and be young enough and able-bodied enough to enjoy some of the benefits of it. So be wise.
Yeah. Well, I think we've peppered you enough today between Mark talking about used condoms and dildos and me talking about cat shit and cat litter. This episode is titled Let It Go for a reason. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know we got quite a few people to give shout outs to. So Spinning Our Gears is one of them. Travis Yates is another one. We got a lot of folks listening in, especially our midnight crew. Thank you for sticking around through our turbulent relationship with Spotify, which we have now patched up. And looks like we're going to be on that platform indefinitely until we violate something that we have no
until we
clue
say
what
something.
we violated.
Yeah,
but
they never tell us what's wrong. But.
Nice try, ISCP.
Yeah.
So, we'll go from there. If you need to get a hold of me, please reach out at nick@rollcallroom.com or Mark, MARC, at rollcallroom.com. Please check us out on the Gram. We're going to have a new Facebook page. Our old Facebook page has been shut down. So we're going to start up our new Facebook page. It's on my list of things to do. And then we're also going to get on more of, and this is on me, we're going to get more on a regimen of releasing our episodes at a steady pace instead of sporadically, which is totally on me. My travel schedule is leveled out, hopefully, so I can do that. But Mark, close us out, man, like you always do. No pressure.
Oh, thank you so much. Everyone needs to remember, and Turk brought this up the other day, he quoted me. So you want to have a podcast. So remember, who's our producer? Who's our editor? Well, he's sitting right there next to me, and he does a great job. And it takes time to do all that. You're like, why don't you have an episode out? I can tell you with the Shield Within podcast, we do 2 episodes a month. Our number one request is more episodes. It's like you guys have no idea the back scenes, what it takes to put a good quality podcast together. And thankfully, I have a partner that him and I click real well. So I hope you guys are enjoying, and your numbers by listening shows that. So thank you very much. Take care of one another. Midnight Dogs, get that sleep, bro. Don't borrow from Peter to pay Paul. I did it for years. And I shared the story. I met Sheriff John Bonnell, Multnomah County Sheriff from Oregon. And met him in Washington, D.C., and big fan of Wildest Police videos. And I had it hanging up in my office, and I'll text it to Nick if he wants to put it up on some of our social media. And one of my new officers came in. He said, "Who's that with the sheriff?" And I said, "Who are you talking about?" He said, "That guy right there." I said, "That's me, you motherfucker." And he's like, "Oh, my God, Sarge, you've aged horribly." And he said, "When was that taken?" I said, 4 years ago. It was 4 or 5 years before I retired.
Yeah.
So that's what Midnights does for you when you're borrowing from Peter. And I don't want to hear this shit. Oh, sleep when I'm dead. Remember, you die sooner than everybody else. There is life after being a Leo. For you Leos that have just retired, welcome to the club. I can't welcome you enough, but it's time to hang the cuffs and the batons up, and it's time to get back into civilian life. Be situationally aware, but don't be over vigilant.
Yeah.
So let that amygdala calm down. Practice the 4 F's: family, faith, friends, favorite activities, and have more friends outside of law enforcement, because it's a great life outside.
Awesome. All right, folks. And remember, if you still want to play with handcuffs after retirement, Dominatrix is always hiring. Have a great show, everybody.